Welcome to part number 3 of lesson number 5 in our study of successful Christian living. In this session, we're going to consider the profound truth that prayer is not about bending God's will to align with ours, but rather seeking to align our desires with God's divine purpose. We're also going to uncover the conditions for answered prayer and the importance of a right heart in the process. So have an attitude that is scriptural about prayer. I want to encourage you to read James chapter 4 and verse 3 and understand that God is not some big grandfather in the sky whose only purpose is to spoil you and me with every wish that we have. There are conditions to having answered prayer. Unconfessed sin will block answers to prayer. Problems between a husband and wife will hinder our prayers being answered. Having aught or holding a grudge against a brother will hurt our prayer life. Having a brother who has aught against us will, where he's upset with you and we haven't tried to fix it, that'll hinder our prayer life as well. The purpose of prayer is to get God's will done on the earth, not our will done in heaven. So the great secret of prayer is to become so in tune with the mind of God that we're praying for the things He already wants to see happen. Prayer is not talking to God into doing something He doesn't want to do. Prayer is asking God to do something He does want to do. Keep praying until you get the answer to your prayer, or you get word from God that He's not going to answer your prayer, and just keep on praying until you get that answer, or until He says to stop and then quit at that time. Here are 5 thought-provoking questions for consideration. Number 1, how does understanding the purpose of prayer as getting God's will done on earth rather than our will done in heaven, how does that impact the way that we approach prayer in our daily lives? Number 2, reflecting on the conditions for answered prayer that we've mentioned, how does unconfessed sin, unresolved conflicts, and grudges hinder our communication with God, and what steps can be taken to overcome these barriers? Number 3, what practical steps can individuals take to align our prayer requests with the desires of God, becoming more attuned to His divine purpose and will in our prayer life? Number 4, in what ways does the concept of persevering in prayer, as suggested in the lesson, challenge our patience and faith, and how can we maintain our commitment to prayer even when faced with delays in answers? Number 5, how can we discern the difference between asking God to do something He genuinely desires and trying to convince Him to fulfill our own desires through prayer, as we emphasized in the lesson?